Thank you, Yaira. Yeah, I know. Sorry, the name is not easy. It's Piotr. Piotr, or you can call
Okay,
it Peter.
Piotr.
It's the same, Peter.
Piotr.
Piotr.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Yaira, and thank you everyone for joining and thanks for welcoming me at this first of the series of webinars. I'm also one of the campaigners of this campaign. So inspiring stories from Africa, zero waste stories. I've been working on zero waste, and also another name for this concept, circular economy, is since maybe now 14 years, for almost 10 years at the European level, and then the remaining 4-5 years also mainly in Africa, but also in Asia, and also increasingly in different places around the world. So in Africa, because I am also a program manager, a circular economy program manager at Africa Circular, formerly known as ASEN Foundation. I will not have slides, but because I would just like to tell some insights and stories, and to leave time also for a good discussion. But Marisa, she really Carissa, sorry, she really covered it all. What is zero waste? How we actually rethink our approach to our consumption and production, rethink approach to waste that is a natural metabolism effect, result of our metabolism, our physiological metabolism, but also economy, the metabolism of economy, metabolism of cities. However, where this metabolism went in recent decades is really the wrong way. Is really something that raised alarms at different levels and created subsequent problems. And from this perspective, I would like to talk to you. The global problems that we have today, especially in environment, is the triple planetary crisis. You know, the triple planetary crisis is climate, pollution, and loss of biodiversity. So these are the really problems that also create other subsequent problems. But we also increasingly recognize, we as zero waste community already long time ago, but the whole actually spectrum of stakeholders, politicians, decision makers in every region in the world, we recognize that addressing these problems of overconsumption, overgeneration of waste is also going to address those triple planetary crises. So it's also recognized already that going into prevention, so zero waste, reducing our generation of waste by reducing also consumption that is not sustainable, we are going to reduce carbon emissions. It is through different ways, by reducing production that is unnecessary, because one of the principles of zero waste is to keep products longer, have products durable. So by reducing this production of unnecessary products that would end in landfills very quickly, reduces climate emissions, because we reduce the energy input to produce those products, to transport those products, to sell, and also actually, first of all, to mine the resources out of the earth. This mining of resources is also a very direct impact on pollution and on losing biodiversity. You know that even 80% of the reasons of the causes of losing biodiversity are linked directly to mining and production, agricultural production. So the more land we use for mining, the more land we use for intensive agriculture, the more biodiversity we lose. So again, by addressing the consumption and overconsumption of resources, we can save land that is needed for biodiversity to thrive. That's why different groups recognize this the zero waste approach and circular economy approach to address. The same comes for pollution. Pollution in terms of climate pollution, in terms of chemicals, toxic pollution, and waste itself is also a pollution. In fact, waste is a result of a leakage in our economies. So CO2 is also a pollution. Yeah? It's a gas that is natural, yes, but it's emitted in quantities that our planet cannot handle. easily, and certainly with consequences on us human beings and the whole biodiversity and nature. So yeah, different groups around the world that deal normally with, used to deal only with pollution, used to deal only with biodiversity or with climate, now really jump on the concept of zero waste, and rightly so. Sometimes we, the zero waste community, have to guide a bit the understanding of zero waste, because we have also seen that the whole concept has been a bit sometimes, how to call it, hijacked by different industry groups, for example, just to serve their needs and their purpose. So there is still quite a lot of work to do, but the good thing is that different institutions, different groups have endorsed the concept. So for example, now we have the Global Zero Waste Day since maybe 3-4 years. It's 30th of March every year, and it's recognized by UN. 10 years ago, when we were campaigning for zero waste, people were calling us, those guys are just utopians. They don't, zero waste is impossible. Since 4 years, we have zero waste at the UN level. Many jurisdictions, even the EU directives, European Commission speaks about zero waste. Already in 2016, they included the word zero waste in one of the legislative packages, also in the Parliament and also in the Commission. So you see, this concept is coming into legislative policy-making decisions, and that it trickles down into country-level decisions. A lot of countries have zero waste policies, or even zero waste department. In Turkey, for example, there is a zero waste department at the Ministry of Environment. 10 years ago, nobody was thinking about it. So I spoke about the reasons. Let's keep those super planetary crises that zero waste can address. Also, it's part of the solution. Also, renewable energy, detoxification, but zero waste is one of them. And now, maybe coming back into a bit more tangible solutions and tangible works I personally am involved very much, is organic waste. Clarissa has already spoke about very interesting projects in Dar es Salaam that I also visited, or in Durban. And indeed, organic waste in many countries, especially in Africa, but also in Asia, is the main source, the main stream of waste. By tackling this stream of waste, we already can tackle 60, 70, up to 80% of waste. So really, it seems to me that this is the main priority, and it's also a low-hanging fruit, because a solution to organic waste, we know it's composting, it's anaerobic digestion, and it's black soldier fly. Maybe also biochar and some others. But especially composting is just, it can happen by itself, because it's a natural process. We can only streamline it, maybe facilitate a bit more the process, but it's natural and it doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge and investment. Same with black soldier fly. And for this, colleagues from Uganda, Botswana, and Ghana, I especially work now in Uganda a lot on black soldier fly. So with black soldier fly, we can accelerate, and there are many groups in Uganda, we can accelerate the decomposition of organic waste, and in the same time we can generate soil improver, which is called frass in this case, and also proteins that can be directly used for animal feed. So if you want to know more about this, please let's be in touch, because we work a lot in also different countries, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in Cote d'Ivoire, so also French speaking. But there is, I believe very much that this technology is already very much popular in certain countries in Africa, and African countries will really lead the whole world. It's from Africa, it's from our continent, where we can show how to make this technology inclusive, starting from low-tech, starting from community-based black soldier fly rearing, rather than just building straight away big industrial black soldier fly, which actually happened in Europe in some places and they failed. So Europe has also tries a lot of things, but Europe has to learn from such countries like yours. Also, one just more thing is that zero waste is not only an environmental concept. It is increasingly recognized also by labor, and trade unions. So associations that are not necessarily environmental, by economic institutions, by startups, business development, by municipalities as well. So by local authorities that have, in the end, waste management is on the shoulders of municipalities, cities, small and big, and it's their role really to grasp the value that is in waste by separately collecting it, by repairing whatever is repairable, exchanging between the citizens inside the same municipality on what is maybe needed, like in terms of textiles. Between the people themselves, there are institutions managed by municipalities, so health centers, schools, and so on. And these can also be hubs for zero waste initiatives, and they are already very often the case. That's where composting, pilot composting can happen, and some exchanges of textiles, for example. Repair cafes, the movement called repair cafes. So this is a movement where people bring their broken phones or broken lamps or broken toys, anything, and together we try to repair them. And that's also being more and more recognized, even in African countries where we already have a lot of knowledge how to repair, but it's not so like there are some it's kept within some, let's say, groups of jobs, but it has to be really popularized much more. And food prevention measures, this is also maybe driven by need as well, but there is still a lot of food waste happening. So edible food that is being wasted because either retail is not sufficient enough, either there is not enough cold chains, or also simply by some cultural reasons. And I believe that communities have also quite a lot of role to play to reduce the food waste happening, because it's not only environmental, it's also ethical and just contributing to social equity, let's say. And also food waste, it's also a climate measure, addressing food waste. It's also a climate measure. So coming back to my first point, a lot of funders they have money existing already in their and ready to distribute for climate measures. So we as zero waste community can show that every activity towards zero waste, so prevention of electronic waste, prevention of food waste, prevention of textile waste, it contributes directly to reduction of CO2 emissions. And that's our strong point that I think we can in the future build more and more in order to get necessary funding for our activities. So yes, that's for me for now, and I'm looking forward to some discussion. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Piotr, for that presentation. And I really appreciate the extensive knowledge in the zero waste industry. And it looks like it's a lot happening. It's a lot that has gone on when it comes to this topic. And